recording. All right, it doesn't matter. This presentation from Julia Cornejo is entitled America's Healthiest Grocery Store, Whole Foods Markets, Use of Fantasy Themes and Symbolic Triggers. Give it up for Julia.
Okay, so just a little bit of background before we begin. Whole Foods Market actually started in Austin, Texas in 1980 with only 19 employees, but it saw success right away. There were 4 individuals that previously owned different grocery stores that thought the natural and health food industry was ready for a supermarket format to make it more accessible to larger groups of people and with the hopes to expand. Since they did see success right away, they were able to move from Austin quickly to Houston and Dallas and then to other southern states and become this huge international Fortune 500 company that we know today. With that being said, a lot of companies are really focused on brand image nowadays from the very beginnings of their company. They want to create a personality that really helps them stick out from the competition. And this is done with Whole Foods in many different ways, which I'll get into a little bit later. So first, I looked at this through Ernest Borman's symbolic convergence theory, and it states that groups or individuals that dramatize, use creative and imaginative interpretation of accounts are fantasizing in order to fulfill psychological and rhetorical needs. And it is usually legitimized by the individual themselves. So after knowing that, we see that Whole Foods has a lot of symbolic cues that are expressed in these themes. I analyzed the social media, predominantly the corporate website, and press releases done by Whole Foods Market themselves after they merged with Amazon to create a more convenient shopping experience for their consumers. Theme 1 was that Whole Foods Market sees themselves as part of the consumer's community. So shoppers feel like they are giving back to their community when they participate in their events, whether it be locally supporting, in Manhattan they did an event where the proceeds went to a music foundation in New York City, or they do beauty swaps where you can swap your old makeup for clean ones for people in the community that don't really have access to these clean beauty products for themselves. It creates this symbiotic relationship where the company themselves is giving back to the community that it is part of. It sees itself as a member of the community itself. Theme 2 would be that shopping feels good, giving back again, but this is for a different reason. It's because of the foundations that Whole Foods explicitly writes about on their website. They give back to children in the community for their education. They give back to the planet through clean water and recycling, so much so that in Theme 3, they actually are considered a green company with their own Declaration of Independence for this. Again, going back to that, we are in a symbiotic relationship with the environment. They have a Declaration of Independence, which is actually separate from the core values themselves, that explicitly states that they are, a part of the world. And creating a Declaration of Independence is kind of an interesting comparison to draw. We see that our country has one, and we are a part of this country. And with a lot of the social climate nowadays, we see what is our country doing to, give back to the environment? With Whole Foods having this Declaration of Independence, they're saying, these are our values. We see ourselves as giving back to the individuals, the planet, and really making people engage with that message. And they have to fulfill that duty. Theme 4 is that they actually have a huge lack of self-marketing themselves. They've only ran a handful of self-promotion since they opened in 1980. Actually, a lot of their social media is just reposts of customers themselves giving great reviews, talking about how convenient it is to shop at Whole Foods, and a lot of it comes from word of mouth as well. Theme 5 is diversity. So in today's social climate, again, we see a lot of companies receiving large backlash from the amounts, or the lack thereof of diversity in their company, both at the corporate level. I know Chick-fil-A underwent a lot of criticism for that, but also in their front of the line employees. Their website allows people to see themselves on their website working for a company that is a little bit more expensive to shop at. But it also shows that health food is for everyone, that we can all live in a world where health food is accessible and easy to obtain. They also have a diverse pages for special diets. So whether you're vegan, vegetarian, dairy-free, gluten-free, you're able to have something to shop for at Whole Foods, showing that they not only are diverse in race and ethnicity and gender, but they're also very diverse in the communities that they serve. But with that being said, I have a lot of recommendations for companies that are also trying to model after Whole Foods, like Trader Joe's, Aldi, Fresh Market. I know there are a lot of Trader Joe's loyalists, but something that I noticed was that renovation of corporate websites is needed for these other companies because the Whole Foods website was so in depth about all that they are wanting to accomplish as a company, their diversity and their commitment to the communities and environment. A lot of other companies would benefit to get ahead of that, get ahead of the media and really kind of explain what their mission is, like Whole Foods does. My second would be to get involved with the communities and to show your consumers that you're a part of their community and that you want to give back. It makes people feel good and feel important to know that the places that they are shopping care about them too. And my final one would be to involve diversity, both in diets, like I explained Whole Foods does, but also at the corporate level. Like I said, again, in today's social climate, a lot of companies are receiving backlash. Whole Foods hasn't really seen any at all since they opened. So with that being said, if more companies involve this, they could possibly prevent a social media disaster in today's media climate. But overall, to conclude, I feel that Whole Foods truly does uphold its mission and integrity to be, the healthiest grocery store and to create an environment that is green and symbiotic. And I believe that if more companies were to follow these recommendations, they would be able to, we would all be able to create a more health food accessible environment for all.